Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks. I'm full of cold this evening, but I'm back at the Dice Cup, and I'm joined by
Andy.
Mark. And we've just been finished playing Sidereal Confluent, I think is how you pronounce that. And the game, I should say, is full of the most complicated vocabulary you've ever seen. We've got transmutive decomposers here, nanotechnology, clinical immortality. But in terms of what you're doing in this game, it's effectively a negotiation game for resources. You can see there's a massive pile of cubes here, and essentially the smaller cubes are the least valuable, and you kind of trade them up to get bigger cubes, and eventually you get these sort of barrel things which are more valuable, and ultimately you're cashing them in for victory points here. And the way you do that is you're going to start with some of these cubes, and a few of these are technology cards here in front of you. And although it looks complicated, essentially each technology card is going to take some pile of cubes in, so this takes 3 green cubes, and it's going to produce, in this case, a big gold one, 2 big blue ones, and a little brown one. So you're kind of running an engine effectively to turn whatever cubes you've got into a big pile more cubes. Now the game is played over a few different rounds, and initially when you've got your few cubes at the start, you have a trading phase, and you just have free-form trading. So you can see Andy's got a pile of cubes over there, Mark's got some cubes over here, and I've got cubes, and I would say, alright, I really need a blue cube, because maybe I want to use this technology which needs 2 blue cubes. I've only got 1, so I say, will anyone give me a blue cube? I can give you some black ones or some gold ones, and it's just like free-form trading. You say what you need, what you want, and you trade the resources back, and that lasts a few minutes. And once everyone's happy that they've got all the different resources they need to power the technologies, then there's a phase where you run all the technologies. Now, one other kind of resource which I haven't mentioned yet is ships. Every player has ships, which are going to become quite important in a moment, but you can also trade ships. You can trade pretty much everything in this game, and you're going to use the ships to try and conquer new planets, and also try and discover some new technologies. So the final phase of each round, you're bidding, and it's a bit strange, but you sort of put the ships behind a screen here to hide how many you're bidding to start with, but you're using the ships in a kind of an auction to bid on these planets, and the planets again will just help you get more resources. You see this gets you a gold one, but where most of the points come from are from these technologies. So to discover this technology, you can see you need to hand in a big pile of cubes at the start here, so 12 brown or 12 green, but then that's going to give you 4 points and a sharing bonus. Now the sharing bonus is pretty significant. At the start in the game, you're getting like 6 extra points or something for every technology you discover, but that kind of decreases as you go through the game. The interesting thing though is, after you discover the technology, you can use it, like one of these, for 1 round, but then after that everyone else gets the same technology. So you're not really discovering the technology to give you a benefit per se, it's more to get the victory points. So you go through a bunch of rounds like that, trade the resources, run your engine, buy more planets and technologies, and then try and cash them into victory points. There are various technologies like this one that will give you victory points. The other thing I should say is everyone has a special race. So I was the Federan Conclave in this case, and each race does have a special ability. So my special ability, I had some special cards here which I could discover if I sort of cashed in planets, and they gave me abilities that no one else could get. So that's quite nice. You've got quite a bit of variability with the planets. Most points wins. What do you think?
Quite liked it. Played it first at MidCon a couple of months back, and quite enjoyed it then, and I've enjoyed it again. It is just a pure negotiation game, and if you're absolutely rubbish at negotiation games, like I feel that I am, you're probably not going to do very well, because you have to be quite sort of forthright and sort of like say, I've got these cubes, I want these, because somebody else will probably zip in before you, or if you spend too long pondering what cubes you need, you will lose out on all the good trades. And the great thing is that you can trade everything. So you can trade technologies, you can trade your planets, everything of RBVPs are fair game for trading. And you can also trade stuff for future as well. So you can sort of say, oh well, I'll give you this once I've generated it. Sort of say trades like that probably aren't going to go down too well, because there's people want the stuff now to run their economy. But yeah, it's to sort of say it's the various powers are quite wildly varied as well, so that's quite good. And they've all got unpronounceable names. Well, some of them have unpronounceable names, but at least they give you a pronunciation key on the race sheets.
Okay, Mark?
Yeah, this game's a bit insane. And it's a negotiation game that has a lot of negotiation. There was so many deals going on apart and stuff. I mean, this is the first time I've played it. And I guess now that I've played it once, I can appreciate the wider game more than just my own engine, and like doing deals that don't necessarily benefit somebody else quite as much as they think it will and stuff. I can be aware of the larger game now after one game rather than just my own little area. But yeah, the player powers are fun. It looks a lot more complex than it is, and once now that again played one game, I could teach it fine. Just the race sheet's going to be the biggest problem because everybody's going to play everything slightly differently. But yeah, it's the fact that it really does have a lot of negotiation, which is good because a lot of negotiations I've played don't really end up having negotiation, but there's lots of deals in this game.
Okay, rating?
I really like negotiation games. I'd give this a 9.
Wow, okay. Andy?
Yeah, I'll probably give this a 7.5 to an 8.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not generally a big fan of negotiation games, but I did really enjoy this one more than any other negotiation game that I've played. The free-form trading at the start is great, and although in theory all those different cubes they represent different things, they just become green cubes and brown cubes after a while. But it still feels great when you run your engine. It's like, oh, I get this, and now I get this. You get tons and tons of stuff as you go through the game, and that's really satisfying. It is quite difficult to learn at first. Partly because everything's got super complicated names, but also it feels like there's so much to take on board. But it really is fairly straightforward. Once you've played around, it's like, oh, I get it now. You just run the cubes through, use your technologies, get more stuff, and then trade. As they say, it all boils down to how well you negotiate effectively. So yeah, I'd be on an 8.5 out of 10, which is very high for me for a negotiation game. Had a great time. All right, thanks for watching. That was Sidereal Confluence.